See this fucking balls? Lick 'em. Listen, haters are going to hate, and the fact that Tony Bellew and Carl Froch didn't make any money out of the game is obviously hurtful to them. And I'm making the biggest bags that's ever existed.
Apparently losing to Oleksandr Usyk twice wasn't enough for Tyson Fury. Now he's shifting his focus to ripping into Carl Froch, all because Froch had the audacity to troll him about it.
Bellew and Carl Froch do a little mock-up fight somewhere, see if they can get anyone interested in it. Who cares what they think? They're just average little boxers.
Honestly, the whole situation is as messy as Fury's defense in that rematch. Instead of taking the loss like a champ, he's decided to go after Carl, a guy who's never exactly been known for sugarcoating his opinions.
Tyson hasn't got the fitness or the engine anymore for 12 solid rounds. To beat Usyk, you've got to be able to sustain the pace.
Froch, in his signature no-nonsense style, didn't hold back. He blamed Fury's training as the real issue and went as far as to call him all talk and no action.
A bit of hatred for Usyk there, because he's ruined his legacy and he's ruined him at the end of his career. He's had back-to-back defeats now. Can he mentally cope with that and retire? I know he's got 100 million quid in the bank, which is going to soften the blow, but bottom line is, money shouldn't be your king.
Froch, true to his no-nonsense style, didn't mince words. He pinned Fury's loss on poor training and even labelled him all talk and no action.
No, he won't be furious. He'll be okay.
You will be furious? You will be angry?
No, I won't be angry. I'll be focused.
They told me that when you are...
The real sting came when Froch called Fury's performance terrible and unprofessional. But he didn't stop there. Froch also tore into Fury's corner, describing it as a chaotic mess with too many voices and no clear strategy.
It's obviously hurtful to him. And I'm making the biggest bags that's ever existed. I've just signed the biggest deal in boxing history, which I can't divulge to you right now.
And of course, Froch, being Froch, didn't hold back. He mocked Fury's obsession with money, calling it downright embarrassing, and claiming it had completely overshadowed any effort to protect his legacy. Essentially, Froch accused Fury of trading greatness for a fat paycheck, selling out the very thing that once made him special.
Strong as me. Not everybody's mentally as strong as me. Like, a lot of negative stuff can bring other people down. But it doesn't do shit to me because it's just like water off a duck's back. It doesn't do anything. I'm waterproof.
What really twisted the knife was Froch dragging his own name into the conversation, because of course the man loves a good self-plug. Froch compared Fury's downfall to his own comebacks, subtly implying that Fury lacks the grit and resilience to claw his way back from this level of humiliation. He painted Fury as a loudmouth whose bravado can no longer mask the cracks in his armor. And let's not forget the fight itself, a night that sent shockwaves through boxing. Oleksandr Usyk's December 21, 2024 performance against Tyson Fury was a masterclass, the kind that made you wonder if Fury even bothered to read the memo on who he was up against.
The fight on my scorecard, it was the same as the judge. It was 4 or 5 rounds, 117, 112 or 116.
Usyk, the smaller man by over 40 pounds and several inches, didn't just win. He delivered a masterclass in precision, strategy and pure boxing IQ. Fury, who's built his career on being the big, agile heavyweight, looked like he was stuck in quicksand, struggling to keep up with Usyk's lightning-fast footwork and sharp head movement.
There was times when Fury was backing him up and leaning on him and putting his weight on him and pushing him around the body and holding on to him. And that's how you make the fight messy. But you tire Usyk out and you win the rounds, put a couple of shots together, lean on him. But that takes a bit of energy from Tyson. And he wasn't able to sustain it. He wasn't able to do it for long enough.
Every time Fury tried to step in and impose his size, Usyk danced around him, firing back with razor-sharp jabs that left Fury looking frustrated and sluggish. It was like watching someone try to catch a shadow. Despite Fury's well-known power, Usyk proved that size means nothing when you've got a solid plan. He outmaneuvered Fury at every turn, reading his moves as if he had a cheat sheet.
Usyk was getting marked up, he landed his headshots, he had his moments of success, but when he did have success and he was doing well, and I was thinking that's a good little combo from Fury.
By round 9, it wasn't just a fight, it was a clinic. Usyk's sharp combinations and relentless pace had Fury backed into the ropes, forcing a standing 8 count that might as well have been a flashing neon sign saying, "Game over." That round didn't just define the fight, it cemented Usyk's reputation as a heavyweight genius, capable of dismantling even the most formidable opponents.
What do you reckon, right man won?
Right man won. I think Fury, what would he do now? His head will, and his heart will be absolutely broken. I think he was always having to react instead of actually being the activator.
Let's talk about legacy. Usyk didn't just beat Fury, he completely changed the narrative of the heavyweight division. Analysts like Eddie Hearn and Teddy Atlas are now hailing Usyk as a generational great, a title that was up for grabs before this fight. With an undefeated record spanning both cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions, back-to-back wins over Anthony Joshua, and now a dominant victory against Fury, Usyk's name is being mentioned alongside legends like Muhammad Ali and Lennox Lewis. His ability to outthink and outbox much larger opponents isn't just impressive, it's historic.
You could see that he's got a bit of hatred for Usyk there, because he's ruined his legacy and he's ruined him at the end of his career. He's had back-to-back defeats now. Can he mentally cope with that and retire? I know he's got 100 million quid in the bank, which is going to soften the blow, but bottom line is, money shouldn't be your king.
Fury, on the other hand, has some serious soul-searching to do. He entered the fight with an aura of invincibility, built on victories over Deontay Wilder and Vladimir Klitschko. But Usyk didn't just defeat Fury, he exposed him. For all of Fury's talk about being unbeatable, he looked shockingly human in that ring. This wasn't just a loss, it was a harsh reality check. The man who once declared that no one born of a mother could defeat him now has Usyk's name etched in his loss column. And that mark isn't going away anytime soon.
It was just too good. El Supremo, Oleksandr Usyk. I think now it's time to walk away into the sunset and not risk his legacy, because you see fighters fight on for two.
The big question now is, what's next for Usyk? At 37, with an Olympic gold medal and undisputed titles in 2 divisions, he's already achieved more than most fighters could ever dream of. Retirement wouldn't just make sense, it would feel like the perfect ending to an extraordinary career. But boxing loves a great storyline, and it's clear Usyk isn't done writing his just yet. Alahal Sujab.
You and Carl Froch do a little mock-up fight somewhere, see if they can get anyone interested in it. Who cares what they think? They're just average.
Fury wasted no time activating the rematch clause, faster than you could say damage control. This sets the stage for a potential showdown in October 2024. Meanwhile, there's already buzz about Usyk facing other top contenders like Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder. Either way, Usyk's options are stacked, and the boxing world is watching his every move.
End of his career, when he's getting old and tired, because he was tiring in there, but to still pull out the performance that he pulled out and do what he's done. If he walks away now, he's finishing really on a massive high.
Meanwhile, Fury's decision to push for an immediate rematch is raising plenty of eyebrows. Critics Carl Froch, being one of the loudest, because of course it's Froch, are arguing that rushing back into the ring could be career suicide. Fury's performance against Usyk wasn't just technically flawed, it raised serious questions about his mental state. His subdued demeanor before the fight and lackluster showing during it don't exactly scream ready for redemption. Let's be honest, stepping back into the ring against a confident, high-momentum Usyk without making serious changes might only make things worse for Fury.
But behind the computer screen, anybody can be anybody, and everybody's tough.
If Fury has any hope of winning the rematch, he'll need a complete overhaul of his strategy. Analysts like Pauli Malignaggi have stressed that Fury must lean into his size and power, something he failed to do in the first fight. Instead of playing Usyk's game, Fury needs to cut off the ring, control the pace, and prevent Usyk from finding his rhythm. Conditioning will also be key. Fury faded badly in the later rounds, while Usyk looked as fresh as if the fight had just started. Without improved stamina and a smarter game plan, Fury's chances of turning the tables are slim to none.
He's quite sort of nonchalant with his body language and disrespectful, and people don't like it. You know, if you're at the top and you're...
Isn't this exactly the kind of circus act that practically begs for criticism? Enter Carl Froch, who never misses an opportunity to call it like he sees it. Froch didn't hold back, labeling John Fury's presence in Tyson's corner as both damaging and unprofessional. He pointed to the Usyk fight as a prime example, highlighting the chaos during critical moments when John's loud, conflicting instructions drowned out any semblance of a coherent game plan. Froch even went as far as to suggest that Tyson might need to sideline his dad entirely if he wants to get his career back on track.
But to be honest, it's like it's not a big fight for me. It's not something I get excited for. It's almost like the battle of the losers, isn't it? They both lost to Usyk.
This isn't Froch's first rodeo when it comes to criticizing the Fury family, but his words hit differently after Tyson's loss to Usyk. Froch argued that Tyson's success has often been overshadowed by John's outbursts. Whether it's dramatic press conference antics or public confrontations with fans and pundits, Froch's point was clear. Tyson's greatness is getting lost in the noise. If the Gypsy King wants to reclaim his place at the top, it might be time for him to step out of his father's shadow and refocus on his craft.
You've got two other people giving you advice. That means you're listening to absolutely nobody.
Let's not pretend this is a one-off situation. The Fury family dynamic has always been complicated, but the pressure of the Usyk fight put it under a microscope. John's fiery, over-the-top defense of Tyson, while rooted in love, often crosses into overbearing territory, even during Tyson's earlier fights like the Wilder trilogy. John's outspoken nature often stole the spotlight. Who could forget when he publicly criticized Tyson's training decisions and demanded more control over his preparation? Sure, Tyson won that fight, but the tension within the camp was impossible to ignore.
I think that Usyk should probably hang his gloves up. I think Usyk's completed the game. Former undisputed cruiserweight champ. Completed it at cruiserweight, beat everybody in style. It wasn't really, I mean, he was in a couple of tricky fights, never really in any serious problems. So
some, like former heavyweight champ David Haye, have openly questioned whether Tyson's loyalty to his father is holding him back. Haye pointed out that while family support is valuable, there is a fine line between support and interference, and John Fury has completely crossed it. Acting as father, trainer, and spokesperson, John's triple role creates a volatile mix that may not be serving Tyson well, especially when facing opponents like Usyk, who bring discipline and laser focus to an entirely different level. This dynamic might be doing more harm than good.
Fantastic fighter, he's had an unbelievable career. But he's not what he thinks or what he's telling everybody or what Big John Fury is telling everybody. How he's unbeaten, no man born.
The million-dollar question is whether Tyson would actually benefit from putting some distance between himself and John's larger-than-life presence. Whether Tyson chooses to keep his father in his corner or finally reassess the team dynamics, one thing is certain: John Fury isn't stepping out of the spotlight anytime soon. The real question remains: will John's presence help Tyson reclaim his throne, or will it become yet another distraction in an already uphill battle? Either way, the Fury family saga continues to be just as entertaining as the fights themselves, if not more so.